Hi guys, welcome back to BMS Podcast. It is your host Odun Ayo. If this is your first time stopping by, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Today I don't have a lot of things to say, but the things I have to say are very important. First of all, I have to say that if you are a black woman, or just in general, black women need to learn how to cry. They need to learn how to cry on demand. Like, I'm tired of defending black women that go on shows. Like, if you are a black woman, especially dark skinned black woman, if you're at work, at school, especially on a show, you cannot let Oyinbo cry before you. You need to learn how to cry and cry on demand. I think I've realized this week, yeah, that people love a pity party. And if somebody is throwing a pity party next to you, throw a bigger one. Let your pity invite celebrities, recruit people, send a lot of invites to your pity party because if that person manages, especially if they don't give you the same amount of grace. And I feel like I'm just tired of defending black women that go on shows, especially shows like Love Island, because it's so I feel like the producers purposefully villainize them. So Hurricane Huda has was trending like a couple weeks back for a whole week straight, right? She was living with I'm talking about Love Island, by the way, so if you don't watch Love Island, you can just skip this part. Hurricane Huda was trending for a whole week on that island. She was trending and people were calling her Hurricane Huda, right? And now, us that we're not in the affected area, we will just scroll past, we'll laugh, we'll kiki cool. But these girls have actually been living with Huda for the last month or so, and they've had to deal with her bullshit. We can talk about her bullshit here, we can laugh about it, we can kiki, whatever, but they're actually having to live with her consistently. At some point, you would think that they'll be tired of her bullshit. And it's like, Huda has done something, yeah? Every single person in the villa that's in the villa with them agreed that she should apologize. Every single person said she did too much. Every single person in the challenge said she did too much. Even she felt like she needed to speak to Chelley. And I feel like Huda's the kind of person, yeah, that would step on you and then ask you like, oh my God, does it hurt? Is it because my feet are big? Like if my feet were not big, like would it not make a difference? Oh, am I a bad person? Like, bitch, you know what the fuck you did. Like the difference is between Olandra kissing Nick and Huda doing whatever she did on Ace is that when I said Hola, when Olandra spoke to Sierra, she gave Sierra the floor to express her actual feelings. When it was time for Huda to apologize to Chelley, it was just recruiting people to play the victim to. Like, why are you crying when you've upset somebody? Like, why are you throwing a pity party when you are the villain in this? Like, if you want to be a villain, be a villain. I would respect that. Like, if this is who you are, you can stand on that. But then it's like you want to be a villain and then you want to cry when you're being villainized, and it's like, okay, the people that are defending Huda, yeah. Let me ask you this question: if you're in a group of friends and one person in the group does something negative to another person in the group and they're not as apologetic, they're finding ways to justify what they're doing wrong. And then everybody else in the group is like, you're shady. I don't really fuck with you like that no more. Like, I feel like if you can do this to this person, you can definitely do that to me. Is that bullying? Like, is that bullying for you to acknowledge something that someone has done wrong and be like, okay, if you're not going to make amends, like truly atone for what you've done wrong, then I don't want to be friends with you. Like, can people not choose not to be friends with people? I thought we as a collective decided that an apology does not include but. Like, this girl had not even spoken to Chelley, but she was very quick to be like, well, you were talking to somebody or you were talking to somebody else. Like, that's not the point. The point is you did too much, apologize for it, and then move on. And I feel like, especially with Huda, yeah, she would say, I remember she was telling Jeremiah, like, don't talk about my business or other people. But when Huda does something wrong, especially in front of everybody, she wants to guilt you into accepting her apology, like, immediately. Like, oh, are you mad? Like, bitch, no, the fuck? Don't talk to me right now. She literally reached out to Chelley in front of everybody else, and she's like, oh, are you mad? You know you fucked up. You know you fucked up. Allow the girl to feel what she's feeling. Allow her to like come to terms with her emotions, and then you can talk about it later. Not in front of everybody else. Don't try and like apologize in front of everybody else and try to force her into accepting your apology. Like that's the thing with Huda. Because it's like they don't realize they actually, it's one thing to say Hurricane Huda and laugh about it, but these guys are actually living with the hurricane, like sleeping with the hurricane right next to her. They actually have to, and they've put up with her from day one. Like God forbid they're mad. God forbid they don't have the emotional capacity to deal with Huda. Everybody was tired of Huda. Everybody was tired of Huda in that episode. And you guys know the episode I'm talking about. Every single person was tired of Huda's bullshit. Everybody. But then the girls that actually have been her support system have had to deal with her bullshit. They're tired of her bullshit. And the thing is, Chelley even said, it's been multiple things that you've done. And it's like she's finally reached her limit. But now she's a bully. Okay. 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 And I feel like this is the reason why I basically stopped watching Love Island UK, because like they did, especially the producers in the UK episode, like this the stuff that they did to Whitney after Whitney's episode. I just couldn't watch another season of Love Island, because it's like, when somebody's poking you, they're trying to aggravate you on purpose. It's like, why would I put myself through that shit again? It's like, you know what you're doing. These people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing to the black cast on the show. And it's like, we just keep giving them attention. And I understand that for a lot of people, it's like, okay, Love Island is a show that a lot of people watch. You want to do content on it. Like, fair enough. But it's like, you really shouldn't be watching that show, especially as a black person. Because when in the history of Love Island had they ever announced the winner, or like the most favorite couple? It's always been in no particular order. Yeah, in no particular order. They that's how they usually do it. Never have they actually like released the names of the most, or the favorite couple. They did that, I think, a couple days before they announced the winner of the show. And I felt like they did it to wake up the other races, to say like, oh, if you guys don't start voting, Whitney's about to win this show. And they also did that. They expressed it to the cast, so the cast know that, okay, this is the person. And obviously their attitude, their situation is going to change. That, okay, this person is actually going to win the show. They said acting some type of way towards them. Now all of a sudden is Whitney is smug. She's this, she's that. It's like people actually loved Whitney on that show. She was on to be the first black person to win Love Island UK. But the producers were producing. And they produced it a certain way, to the point where it's like, even black women don't see it. They don't see how much they actually like get people to turn on black women. And I feel like, well, naturally it is quite easy. But I will say this, it's no longer a point where it's like you're trying to defend black women that go on Love Island or like go on shows. But you need, if you're, especially if you're going on a show as a black woman, you need to learn how to cry. You need to learn how to bring out the tears. You need to learn how to weaponize, and because if they want to give sympathy, if sympathy is how you win, then you need to learn. You need to learn. I don't know. I don't care if you're going to call an acting coach, or I don't know, whatever kind of coach it is, to learn how to cry. But you need to learn how to cry as a black woman, and you need to learn how to cry quickly. Like you need to learn how to crash out emotionally, not angrily, because obviously there's a stereotype there. But oh my God, I can't believe, like, I didn't mean to hurt you. Am I a terrible person? That one you need to have in your vocabulary for sure. For sure. You need to know when you're about to be found or crucified for something. You need to learn to play the victim, because Huda is so good at that. Like, she's so good. Like, Huda is the perfect victim. She is the always playing the victim. So perfect. Like she's mastered. And I'm like, I don't understand how this woman is actually a mom. Like she's so good at playing the victim. Like being the child in the situation, being the one that everybody has to like. And it's annoying because it's like she does something to somebody and then she goes around telling people this and this and this and that. She did the same thing with Jeremiah as well. She's offended or she said something to Jeremiah. She's spoken to all the girls about it, but Jeremiah cannot speak to other people about their situation. She's like, oh, you never do that. You never speak about our situation, but you're speaking about the situation to everybody that cares to fucking listen. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to. I wouldn't say that I'm shocked or like I feel like this is a new thing. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it surprises me. I just feel like she's just one of those people. And I feel like I'm not surprised that people are actually eating it up too, because I mean, it's America. Like Donald Trump is their president. Like it doesn't really care what you do as long as you have a good story or you fit a certain model. You can really get away with anything. You can really get away with anything. Is this one messaging me? And let's not even add the fact that like the producers actually like what's the word? They make sure they set up the voting to when they've edited it to show that a black woman has fucked up. Like, let's not forget that too. But yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna obviously I started watching this Love Island episode, I'm gonna see it through. But I feel like I feel like after this episode I mean after this season, I feel like I'm done with Love Island as a whole. Like there's a video that this guy made talking about how much they actually put into like isolating the islanders before they go in and just trying to make sure that they just have no sense of reality outside of that, no clocks and everything. And it's like they say, oh, no bullying and all that shit. Well, it's like they edit things to ensure people get bullied. So it's like, which one is it? Do you actually want people to not be bullied or do you want them to be bullied? Because it's like you're the one that's orchestrating the bullying at this point. So it's just, I don't know. It's a weird one. Let's not talk about the kissing on the show. Like, I feel like when I say watching Love Island, I think the only thing that they get people to kiss everybody is when they do the kissing challenge. But like now everybody is just it's just nasty. Like I can't imagine actually having to kiss that many people at once. I feel like it's just crazy. Um uh but yeah, what else did I wanted to speak on? Oh yeah, Orlandria. I think people don't take into account in Orlandra's situation with Taylor that Orlandra apparently she never really got to date much as she was young, and she also was raised by a single mother. And I feel like a lot of women like Olandra do not know what love is. They don't they feel like love is a form of duty. Like rather than uh like the feeling, the affection and all that stuff. I feel like Olandra being oldest to a couple of siblings, like the first daughter syndrome, she believes that love is actually duty, like a sense of responsibility. It's not really like all going by your gut feeling. It's like once you've chosen somebody, you stick with them and you do whatever it takes or whatever they need to remain. And I feel like a lot of women don't actually know that that level of commitment comes after you've crossed the hurdle of getting married. Like that's the level of commitment that Olandra has, and she doesn't understand that it doesn't come right off the bat. And I feel like with someone like Taylor, I can understand him saying that, you know, this person makes him feel like a kid, because I feel like if anything I can relate to being so forward thinking, being so like future thinking, future forward, that a lot of people that are not ready to like take significant steps towards their future tend to feel like I'm doing too much, or they just can't feel like comfortable around me. And I feel like Orlando is probably someone that never really had the chance to be a kid herself. So it's like when she gets into a relationship, it's very serious. Like it's very like, okay, it's work and I'm going to do the work to keep the relationship. It's never really like, oh, let's have fun, let's do that. So I kind of understand what Taylor was talking about. Well, obviously we can't deny or we can't neglect the fact that like his situation with Olandra, from the beginning he said he was not physically attracted to her. You cannot force that. Olandra is bad. Yes, she's she has a nice body, she's pretty and everything, but I feel like there's somebody for everybody and she just wasn't the one for Taylor. And as much as people, I think the only thing that Taylor did wrong was allowing Ace to convince him that he should put in more work rather than ending things. See how, like, is it Pepe that he's talking to somebody and he's like, I'm not really feeling this. I just want to let you know, like, he's like trying to be upfront quickly and just let people know that, I'm not really feeling this. I think I need to let you know, and so you can start doing your own thing. That's the issue. I think Taylor was at the point of like almost telling Landra like he's not really feeling it. But Ace was like, bro, like she's making you breakfast and shit, like lock in, bro. And he locked in up until somebody else came in. So it wasn't a thing of like, oh, he's physically attracted to her, that it built up off from that. It was more so, you know, it was more so Ace convincing him to stick with Olandra, like, and just lock in on Olandra because she clearly liked him. Meanwhile, Olandia was, doing the whole performance because she thought she was doing her duty to her partner, and she started like basically chasing him. So do I think he's a terrible person? No, I think he just picked up advice from. You can tell like Taylor is not somebody that has a mind of his own. For somebody like Ace that's a couple years younger than him to basically be controlling him and telling him what to do, telling him how to talk to women, how to move to women, and since Ace has backed off because obviously he's no longer involved with Landria, he hasn't done any of those like dates or like fun things like with his connections with Clark. Like everything he did for Olandra that Olandra thought was like him showing her that he liked her was basically him just listening to Ace or taking instructions from Ace, and that was what pushed Olandra to believe that okay, there's something here. Meanwhile, he already admitted that he was not physically attracted to her. If he could have told her at the time that he just wasn't feeling it, it would have been a lot easier for Landria to move with Jalen. Well, then obviously Jalen came and he left, and she chose. I think she did like Taylor more than Jalen, to be fair. But I think a part of me believes that she picked Taylor because they had started, like she had invested. Yeah, she had invested her time and attention into Taylor. So she's like, okay, you know what? Like this is somebody I know. This is somebody I'm comfortable with. I've taken time to get comfortable with. And yeah, it's gotten that, and I don't understand the whole like, oh, it's more of a mental thing. Like you're on Love Island, they get to see you half naked before anything else. So I feel like physical attraction, I think even normally physical attraction is a big thing anyway, and it shouldn't be anything that would that is, what's it called, like negotiable. Like if he's not, I feel like men have always been physical creatures. Yes, they might want to have like mental stimulation from a woman. They might want to engage mentally. But I think at the basis of everything, men are actually physical creatures. They move, or they are attracted physically more than women before anything else. And if the attraction is not there, like from the beginning, then shit. Like it doesn't matter how much mental connection. Like you might as well just be friends with the guy so you can mentally connect and he can actually date somebody he's physically attracted to. And I think that's the thing that this guy tried to force. Even when they kissed outside the challenge, it was just like a peck on the lips. It's like he's not. I feel like as much as I like a mental connection first, you need to want to jump my bones. Like you need to see me and be completely attracted to me. Like there's no in between. There's no like, okay, I would rather somebody else. Like I don't understand that part with Valandra. The last thing I wanted to talk about was oh yeah. So Diddy has been convicted of 2 out of 5 of the charges that were brought against him. and a lot of people were celebrating, especially outside the courthouse. And I'm just like, do you guys do you guys not know what Diddy did? Like, I understand that they overcharged him, and they tried to bring up a RICO case, which to me is like, cartel kind of business. I understand they overcharged him, but then the way people are actually celebrating that he's going to get out free, with the amount of people, the amount of witnesses that came and said they were scared for their lives, like him burning up Kid Cudi's car. And then what even shocks me the most is when people talk about Cassie being the mastermind. They were dragging mastermind on the floor. They were beating, throwing lamps on mastermind. Does that look like a map? Did you guys not see the Cassie video? Because he actually was fucking this. She wasn't even fighting back. Does that look or sound like a mastermind to you? Because I feel like, wait, am I sorry, man, you brain. Like, you don't actually have common sense when you're talking about, because I get the defense are gonna do what defense does. They will try and make some shit up to make they're getting paid for this shit. But you're swallowing it as the what's the word? Um Attention person, whatever. Like, yeah, you're basically swallowing what they're saying. Like, can you not see that it's just the defense doing what they're supposed to do? Like, how can you hear them say that and then actually believe that Cassie was the mastermind? Like, some of you can't even tell your parents no to some shit, and you're expecting Cassie to tell this billionaire of a man that can literally fly to wherever she is, that can hire private investigators to follow her around, that called her, stalks her multiple times, that uses her sex tape. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but that uses her tapes to basically, like, what's the word? Control her. Because it's like blackmail her into doing what she says. The fact that this Cassie's mother had to take a loan, or was it a loan on her house to pay Diddy to leave her daughter alone. How can that possibly a mastermind? Like, people just say shit, and people just believe whatever. And even when they released the results of the trial, everybody was like, "Oh, not guilty, not guilty." That man is going to prison. He's going to prison. Like, fair enough, the jury acquitted him of certain convictions. Doesn't mean that he wasn't already convicted of other things. He's convicted of two things. And I feel like even the media as well, they were very quick to be like, "Oh, Diddy is not guilty," and everybody just ran with not guilty, not realizing that that guy is actually going to remain in prison, as he should. And I'm glad that the jury has done their part. I think the jury, the difference between sex trafficking and transportation for prostitution is mainly consent, right? Consent, coercion, and all that stuff. I feel like there's a lot of, like, show that there were drugs involved, but being the fact that they actually paid, or like they sought those people out to pay for their services, and obviously him being in a relationship with Cassie, it's difficult for you to now say that he sexually trafficked her. I understand that the statute of limitations cannot allow them to prosecute him for the things that he actually did with Cassie criminally. That's why they did a civil suit. But also, I feel like they've gotten to the point where the jury has made a decision now, and it's now down to the judge to hand the sentencing. And I feel like from the beginning of this trial, you could tell that Diddy just believed that he was going to get out. Like, I feel like I've spoken to somebody that has been arrested and eventually got convicted. They don't understand that it's not a joke. Like, they don't understand that they're actually going to prison. The last person I spoke to that was going to prison was like, "Oh, can you just help me get my lawyer, because I need to, like, get out of here by Friday." Diddy was so sure that he was coming out of prison when he first got arrested. He literally handed himself in to show good behavior so that they can, like, the judge can see that he's not going anywhere, and they can get him back out and carry on doing his shenanigans. But the judge was like, "Nope, there's evidence of violence." Like, even the prosecutors, sorry, the defendants, like his lawyers, admitted that he was a violent person. His lawyers admitted that he had exhibited violence. They approved that. So the judge, with common sense, cannot be like, "Okay, now leave," even though there's proof that you've been a violent person, and even though your organization is not a criminal organization. He did use it to do criminal things. They can't convict him of that, but there is proof that he is violent. Like, he has a violent disposition or whatever. Like, he has a history of violence, so it makes sense that they make sure he remains in prison till his sentencing. And I mean, he's looking at 20 years, but I think it's only natural for him to do, what's it called, to serve them consecutively. I think that's the word. And they might give him, personally, I hope that the judge gives them, what's it called, gives him like a harsher sentence, because each conviction of sexual, no, transportation for prostitution carries, I think, 10 years. That's why he's looking at 20 years. But if he serves them consecutively, he probably would be looking at like 5 to 8 years. And I really do hope that the judge actually lands it, like gives it to him, like gives him a lot. And apparently, if it's a federal crime, you're looking at serving 75 or 85% of your sentence, if I'm not wrong. But that man deserves to be in prison. He should be in prison. And I feel like people that are talking about, oh my God, he bust case, you're stupid. Also, for the people that are like, don't put they want to put a black man in prison, like, shut the fuck up. Like, they want to embarrass her. If you don't do anything embarrassing, they would have nothing to use to embarrass you. It's also the same with people who are defending Drake and saying like, oh, they were, because UMG wanted to sign his contract, and his contract was kiniko. You had the choice to enter the beef or not, and you chose. Maybe J. Cole, they called J. Cole out. Why did he not say he wanted to rap or he wanted to do beef with you people? The same way, if they wanted to disgrace Diddy is a disgrace. If they wanted to disgrace Diddy, they didn't have to do too much, because that man is a disgrace. So he played into their hands. If he didn't have anything for them to feed off of, there would be no way for them to embarrass him or disgrace him. Same way, I feel like J. Cole is probably one of the best examples of the black man you guys are talking about protecting, because that man, from everybody that every account you hear of him, is about his family, his music, positive vibes. So if you're looking to use your experience or your position to extort people, to bribe people, to control people, then you're not a black man that I give a fuck about. I don't care about whether or not you're convicted. I don't care about whatever they do to you in the prison cell. That's your business. It's just like Tory Lanez talking about people like they stabbed him 18 times. We didn't see it. It probably didn't get stabbed. Like, how do we believe, if you can't believe Megan was shot by you? How do you expect us to believe that you were stabbed by somebody in your prison cell? Like, I don't have any sympathy for black men, or for rich black men that use their power to control people. They use their power to abuse people. They use their power to control people's lives, to instill fear, to be violent towards people. I have no sympathy for you. We're not marching out for you. I don't care what happens to you. I don't care what sentence they give you. That's your business. Because if you did the crime, you should be very willing to do the time. That's the code of the streets, no? For the black men, that's the code. So it's none of our business, whatever they do to him. I just feel like, especially after seeing the Cassie video, that man should be in prison. And that's all I have to say about that. Anyway, thank you for watching. And I will see you in my next video.